Okay. Wait for everyone to come back in. The view. What was that, right?
Oh, yeah, hold on. We got 6 people on. Any questions, or y'all have questions on the other chat, bottom chat, put them back on, brother, sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people out there that technical difficulties.
That's right. Okay, so we was dealing with the question from just Arthur's Pink, right? But before the video cut out, right? I guess now for those who watch later on, they would have to go look for part 1, right? For the first half of the class, right? We went over the Middle East, right? Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians really come from the Middle East. That's our homeland, really and truly.
Right.
That is where we come from. That is the land we're trying to get back to. When we said go back to our fathers in peace, we want to die over there. You don't want to die in America. You don't want to die in COVID. You want the Lord's protection, right? The same as Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, our forefather, right? He made an oath, right? That which is the oath that we all should make, right? Which is what we do when we get our Hebrew name and I.S.U.P.K and the commandment of YAHANNA, that you want to live and die in peace, right? You don't want to die. You don't want to die, not being able to breathe from the Delta variant of the COVID. You know what I mean? You want to die in peace in the old age, see your kids and all that grow up and grow older, right? Right. So the question was from just Arthur Pate, Shalom Aqua, right? Shalom means peace. Ak means brother. Wa, right? Really, she should write a dash right here to let everyone can be in the understanding that the wa is a preposition to say and. Right? You don't ever want to make people feel like they have to write Hebrew like this. Right, and then she put the wa separate, right? And then you have aqua way over here. Like this is English, right? This is not English, all right? Right? That wa is never separate in Hebrew, right? The wa instead is written right here. Right? It's written right on the word. It's written like it's written together. It's written like this. This is how you have to write it. You have to write it like this, right? In Hebrew, right? Wa, aqua. It's the red like is one word. Now in English,
Right.
you do want to make the distinction, so you put a little dash in here. You see what I'm saying? It'll be like this. And right, this looks funny to you because this is not the rule of the English language.
Correct.
Right? But in Hebrew, we're writing it like this. This is how we write it in Hebrew, like this. All right? Which is what's going on right here. Oh, I put the star here. See, that's how you fill officer's test right there. Right? Right? There we go. Right? Ak. Wa, ak, wa. All right? Good, right? A mistake I did a while ago, that is how you're going to fail your officer's test, right? Learn to not do that. Catch yourself. Check it. All right? Good, right? Okay. For the rivers, we have two words for rivers, right? Both of them are good. We have Nahar, right? Or Nahar, which is one word for river, and you have Nakab. All right? They both mean river. All right? River, and river. Okay? Good. What's the difference? This word right here, this is your average word for river. This is the one you're gonna come across most of the time, all the time, right? Now watch this, what's significant of. This is gonna be river that is gonna be used for the word generations. All right, why? In what direction? In what direction does generations go? In what direction does a generation flow? Right? Do generations go up? Do you go from son to dad and granddad and great granddad? Or does the granddad be born and then the granddad and then the granddad be great granddad be born, and then the granddad be born, and then the dad be born, and then the son be born, then the son's son be born, the grandson, right? Or does it go the other way? Does it go up? Or does it go down? Right? Let's get an answer on the board about it, right?
Yeah,
Right? Let's see if we can get an answer on the
nobody so far.
Okay, nobody so far. If you can hear what I'm saying, if you can hear me, type 1. Type 1, right? If you can hear me, type 1. Right? Before we move on, let's get some answers on there. We can see some ones. No one's online.
No, we got some people. 1. We got a few ones.
Okay.
They're all good.
Yeah. Generations, right, go in the form of a downstream. Right? Downstream.
We got a question too.
Right? Correct, right? Generations go in the form of a downstream. So that's the difference between this river and that river. Either this river or this word for river means a downward stream river, meaning this river flows in this direction. Nahar is just a river, probably stands still. It's just a river. It's just a river that sits there and squiggly through hills and mountains just sits there, right? Nakal is the one that if you get in this river, you you better make sure that you're going in that direction, because you can't paddle backwards. This is that raging river that's flowing downstream, carries you away out and empties out into the sea, right? Okay, what's the question?
Salaki, sir, Deuteronomy 23 and 17, why 69:45 used to translate the word sodomite?
Use the word what?
Sodomite. There shall be no whore of the daughters and no sodomite of the sons.
And since Concord score, what again?
69:45.
So is that Kodash?
Yeah,
Okay.
and the feminine version for whore is Quasha.
It's called is what?
Quasha.
And Kodashah in this verse right here is sodomite? Is a whore?
It's used for whore, but if I'm not mistaken, it's basically talking about homosexuals. And when we know the truth, a whore is a homosexual, is a lesbian, so it's basically a whore.
But does it say Kodashah when it says whore right here?
God, it says whore in English, but when you look it up, it says Quasha.
Kodashah, right? And what verse is that again?
Deuteronomy 23 and 17.
Deuteronomy 23, 17. Okay, I see it there. Harlot, right? And it says, where's the sodomite one?
Sodomite is at the bottom. There shall be no whores of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
No, Yahaya Kodash. Okay. Right. Give me the scripture where it says, the law is in the inward parts. Right? The reason, huh?
I said concept.
The reason why it says that is because of the nature of Israelites. Right? Meaning, you'll be a sinner, right? Right? And just think of when you used to go, which you shouldn't anymore, right? When you used to go to your family's Thanksgiving dinner, right? Now, everyone there is a sinner. Why? Because they're celebrating Thanksgiving. Or the Christmas dinner, right? They're one and the same, right? They have the same kind of environment. Your family who is an ungodly people, right? They look for this time of year to all get together. That is their holy convocation. Right? They don't do no Passover, they don't do nothing that the Lord said. Right? The slave master said Christmas and Thanksgiving, right? Your family follows the slave master, and the slave master is the devil that the Bible speaks of. So your family follows satanic rituals, which is Christmas and Thanksgiving, right? And when you go there, right, everyone there is worshiping another God, the Thanksgiving God and the Christmas God, right? That's sin number one, right? Your uncle is a child minister, right? Your auntie's a hoe, right? Who else? Your cousin is a drug dealer, right? Your brother smokes weed, right? Your other girl cousin who's also a hoe, she got mad tattoos. She got a lot of tattoos, right? The other cousin who rolls with the drug dealer cousin, he's a murderer, right? And the other cousin who comes in, who's also a man, he comes in and he's someone who will kill somebody for $5, right? Tell him you don't pay the $5 back, you better give me 10, right? Usury, right? Give me some more of those, right? The other one is a thief. The other one is a scammer, right? No problem, right? They are all sinners of different elements and persuasions, right? But then what happens when the gay cousin comes over? I don't have a gay cousin, right? Judas, help me out here, right? What happens when the gay cousin comes over? He comes in and acts like he says, "Hey," like the girl, and he's wearing disgusting clothing, right? Did he come around and sit around everybody and the drug dealer and they all welcome me? Yo, my dog, not a dog, what are you?
Cousin.
You know my man, because now you believe you're a girl, right? They separate him. All the sinners separate him. Like they are separate in the essence of separate. Right? So they are, the word Kodash. The word Kodash, we went over this earlier. Right? Is that you got the scripture? You got the scripture for me, everybody?
Good.
Read it for me.
One second.
The Lord written in the inward parts.
Jeremiah 31:30.
Okay. Okay, I'll get it. Right, get it off if you could, please.
Huh?
Get it off.
Okay.
Jeremiah 31:32, right?
Yeah, 33. 3. No.
Right, so Jeremiah 31:33 says, after those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts, right? I write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people, right? Meaning, right? This lifestyle, right? This is in our mind, meaning it's saying separate because in our mind, the sodomites is always separate. Even when you're a sinner, right? You're a sinner, you're in the world, you're not in the I.S.U.P.K. You're not trying to be around those sodomites. You know what I mean? That's why they had to be in the closet, because they come around, another sinner is going to stuff him in the face. You see what I'm saying? Another one's gonna hurt him. Another one's gonna kick him over, right? The sisters are gonna throw things at him or her, push him out the house where they can be separate. You see what I'm saying? Kodash is separate, right? Who else is separate? When you get down, you be a righteous people, right? A harlot or a prostitute is frowned upon. Not nowadays, you're in America where everything, the harlot is accepted, right? Everyone's trying to get with her now, right? Everyone is trying to be friends with the gay guy, right? Everyone's trying to be friends with Lil Nas X, right? So today in American society, right, everyone doesn't separate them anymore like they used to in the 90s and the 2000s. Now in only like a year ago, 2020 or so, right, is this thing through the bullying of the LGBTQ community, right, has forced everyone to be in a sense of accepting them when that was not the case, right? So the word sodomite in the Bible would be separate, right? That would just be the word for them. Go tell the separate one, you know what I mean? He can get his food outside, right? He can't come in here with that because he can't come in here with that, right? And who else? Right, to the door, right?
If I may,
and then Kodashah.
Right. If I may.
Say Salaki or something.
Salaki, sir.
Hold on. Oh, don't touch my toe. Hold on. I'm coming to you right now. Right? Kodashah will be the word for harlot. What is a harlot? Someone who sells their body. Right? Who sells their body? You have the type of woman, right, who sells their body the upfront way, and then you have the one who sells their body in the alternative route way. What does that mean? One is telling you straight up cash for sex. The other one is saying you gotta take me out on dates, right? You gotta buy me a new car. You gotta pay my bill, right? You in New York City where everyone's trying to get my rent. You gotta help me with my rent, right? And then you got another one to help pay the phone bill, and another one to help her with the car notes, and another one to help her with the groceries. This goes on in Harlem. You see what I'm saying? This goes on in America, right? Where she's selling her box in a way where she's not viewed as a prostitute. It's the backdoor route. You see what I'm saying? But nonetheless, she is a harlot. And guess what? When everyone finds out that she's a harlot, meaning everyone finds out, damn, she got 11 boyfriends for one time. Then it's like, yo, I want to see her. She come over to the Thanksgiving dinner, then everyone is like, I'm gonna stay away from her. I'm gonna go over here because we are ashamed of her. When someone is doing something that's shameful and in their shame you separate yourself from them, there comes the word kodash, which means separate. Right? When the word sodomite is used to say separate. Kodash. Right? They are separate. Kodasha is the female, is the feminine version of this, right? Feminine version of Kodash, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say that too.
Separate. I'm in the college of bar. That's right. It's a long time to have the right thing. Nowadays we just got, you just put you go on your phone, what do they call it? Auto type. Auto correct. Separate. Okay. So I'll put SEPER on my phone, and it will just automatically change to SEPAR, separate, right? Good. Right? So that's the sense of that. And we are still like that today. The law is not in inward parts today. Right?
It should be hot.
No problem, right? Okay. Good. Any more questions online? Or does this person understand that now?
Right? Kind of, do you understand? Not just
okay. Now in another sense, right? They're separate, right? But now in another sense, she's probably confused with how we are called separate people, because we are separate from the world. We are separate. We are separate from other races of people, right? This is how someone becomes a stranger. They get kicked out of the kingdom, meaning you go out and you go out downtown. You don't hang around Crown Heights no more. You don't come around East New York, Flatbush no more, right? You are kicked out of the neighborhood. You come around here, you're probably gonna get attacked. Where do you go? The place where you are accepted. Where are you accepted? Soho. Where are you accepted? The Village, right? White parts of Brooklyn, Sunset Park. What's some other, Williamsburg, or one in the Williamsburg, right? You're accepted down there, so that's where you go, and you wear purple and rainbow flags, and you're just funny, and you act like white people, and you get white friends because you're gay, right? That is how that comes about, because you got ejected from your neighborhood because you were gay. You were separated from your kinfolk. You got kicked out of the house and you got sent away, right? You went wherever you was accepted, and LGBTQ is all about being accepted. And when you come in here, you're not going to be accepted. You're going to be tried. That's what's going to happen when you come in here. You're going to be tried like a fire is tried in the furnace, but like gold is tried in the furnace, right? So you come to the I.S.U.P.K, and the brothers, you get greeted, and sometimes the brothers, you might have an experience where the brothers don't treat you too nice because they don't know you. You might act funny to them, right? You come around, you come straight to the world, you're trying to act all intelligent and smart with a white man's voice, trying to sound intelligent, trying to sound like you're smarter than the teacher. You might not be accepted, because this is not the place where we just accept anybody. You see what I'm saying? We don't accept certain kind of people, right? Now can you come in here and shed yourself off of the world? Yes. And that is what you do when you come in here. You are given 6 months to wear all black and to shed yourself off of the world. But we see you're not doing that. You might be ejected. You might be ejected. You see what I'm saying?
It's hot.
All right. Good, right? Any other questions? Not right now, right? Okay, those good, right? Let's get something that we should always get: prepositions. Okay, we got this already, right? So to say brothers and sisters with an S, you gotta have, like Abadi said earlier, you gotta have the young. Akwat the young for the men, and for the sisters, akwat young, no, young with an N. Right? If you put young over here, you're wrong. If you put young over here, you're wrong. You're violating the language. All right?
I was gonna say, we need to remember that always when there's some moving too.
Good, right? That's a good. Let's get that before we go too far too. Being explained on. Yeah.
So just to clarify, like a sister would say to a group of brothers a thumb, and a brother would say to a group of sisters a thumb.
Right. So let's get what this should say at the end of the class. Because there's always going to be more than one brother here. There's always going to be more than one brother here.
Yeah,
because there has to be a teacher and Shimon.
Right,
Strong men behind the gates, strong like cows. Right. Man, brothers on Shimon, strong like cows behind these walls here. The Allah put the Kalma, right? Word Ak. Okay. So the sister's greeting, right? Yahweh, which is the Lord's name. The Lord's name is not a higher, right? The Lord's name is not Yah, the Lord's name is not Jah. Right? The Lord's name is one name because he said he got one name. God is not your homeboy on the street. You can't say you want to call him Jimmy. You can't just call him whatever you want to call him. The same way you can't call your mother whatever you want to call her. You can't call your father whatever you want to call him. You have to give them their respective titles and names, all right? Right? Yahweh, Shamar, Al, right? Because we know there's no E sounds in there. The only sound in Hebrew is R and I, as according to the Hebrew, biblical Hebrew book we got over there. We're going to get that in a second, right? How Shema Al, when you say to the brothers in the class, at the end of the class, it's a thumb, right? Right? A thumb. This is when you're saying to more than one men, plural, right? Men, plural, right? So men, plural, right? A thumb. Yahweh Shema Allah thumb, Ba Hashem. Ba Hashem. Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai. Right? Now, you do not say this to sisters. Right? If you see one brother by himself, right, you don't say this to a brother by himself. You don't never say this to one person. Right. This is what you say at the end of class. Yahweh Shema Allah thumb, because thumb, the M, this M right here makes a difference for you. Right? The M means men. Right? Right. The M means men. John. Right? Plural, right? Now, you're saying this to, okay, the sister would never say, sisters don't have a lot of time when they gotta say this to a group of sisters. Right? What do you mean? Because they're only gonna say it to an individual. Other than that, right? The only time they greet will be to each other individually, right, or at the end of the class at the salute. So I've never heard a time where sisters gonna say Yahweh Shema Alathan Bashmi Shai. Meaning like if sisters doing things like cooking all the food, like I was having a lot of sisters when we was down in Houston, and then one sister came in and there was a whole bunch of sisters there. Like in that instance, she would have to, you understand what I mean? Like going into a room full of in that instance is like the Passover. Yeah, right. Right? But that is not to have instances where you gotta practice. Right. You want to say that they're gonna say all the time. Right. This is what they're gonna say all the time, like today. Right. Right? Like in a couple minutes from now, this has to be said. Right. Yesterday, this has to be said. Next Thursday, this gotta be said. Saturday morning, this gotta be said. At the end of Sabbath class, Saturday, this gotta be said. This is said all the time, right? Now, individually to another sister, you do not say this, you say Athar. Right? Athar. Right? Athar. Right? Because this is what you say to your other sister, or to anyone, a brother also, right? An individual. This means you, right? This is individual. You're saying this to an individual. Individual. All right? I thought, right? In the class, sisters, you put your hand like this, right? And you say, How Shema Al Tham Bashima Shai. Now, what did the brothers say? The brothers are going to say the same greeting too to the sisters. But they're not saying this, and they're not saying this, unless there's only one sister on the side of the room right today. Right? So the brothers will say this to the sister because you're only one of her, right? But when there's a class, like Thursday when Jim Muhammad comes in, all the women laid in all the seats on the left side of the room, right? The word we use is athan with an N, and we have to say athan. Don't never call him athan because you might be insinuating to the Lord's ear who the prayer goes to in the first place, right? Like these are men, right? But if I see a woman come violate in the class, and we're told to leave her alone and to respect her, or to to just leave her alone, and she's acting like a man in the class, I'm going to agree to this to the Lord, like a man. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to agree that to her. You know what I mean? Because the Lord said, "Bid them not Godspeed." Right? We don't bless enemies in here. That Christ didn't bless enemies. Right? Love your enemies, yes, love them. Meaning don't violate them. Don't attack them, don't hurt them. Right? But you don't pray the Lord bless them. I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna pray for your curse. That's what I'm gonna do. You come against the I.S.U.P.K. You just come in YAHANNA. We're gonna pray for your curse. The earth wants to take I.S.U.P.K. off the corners. We're gonna pray for the coronavirus. For 1 pp and for the what's it called again? What? Liberty Place. We're gonna pray for the coronavirus. We're gonna pray for COVID-19. And we're gonna pray for a new strain to come up in 2020. And we're gonna pray for a new strain to come up in 2021. And we're gonna pray for a new strain to come in 2022. And different viruses, monkeypox, and the black fungus plague. We're gonna pray for different ones. And we're gonna pray for World War III. We're gonna pray for the economy to fall. Right? We're gonna pray for all of that. Right? We don't bless our enemies. We don't. I'm gonna pray for you with a Christian crap. Where is that in the Bible? Okay. Yeah, right. Sorry, right. So a thumb. Hold on, wait. A thumb. Slug. When the brother says his sister is a thumb with an N. I know I wrote N there right, but that was my mistake. All right. So the brother's gonna say this to, right? To a group of sisters. Group, right? Let me make sure this group, right? Because I don't want people to, So, he didn't write group there, so now I'm gonna say to sisters. You gotta be to group.
Question, sir.
Of sisters, right? I hear you. Hold on, sir. Right? Athan is we say how Shema Al Athan. So at the end of the class, the men say this one right here. The sisters say this one right here. Right. All right. You see a group of sisters. How Shema Al Athan by Shema Shai, right? So that Athan, the N right here, signifies you're saying to a woman. All right. Yeah, but what's the question?
Salakia, thumb would also apply if it's a mixed group, right? Like male and female.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
A mixed group means rank order. Right. What is the rank? Man over the woman.
Right.
All right. Did the woman get left out? No. The women are included.
Right.
All right. Okay.
No more questions online.
No more questions online? Okay, no sweat. What's the time we got?
Like 12 minutes, 13 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so anybody you wanted to? Oh,
You'll ask them? Yeah.
So what does the whole greeting means?
Okay, good question.
yeah.
I don't understand. Right? Okay, so Yahweh is the Lord's name. This is God's name. right? Let me get Zechariah 14 and 2.
14 and 2.
Is that correct? Or is that which is one that goes to chapter 14? The one that goes to chapter 14 and 2. Right? No, one of them is like 3. Zephaniah 3, right? Zechariah 14 and 2, right? So this is God's name. Right?
Zechariah 14, you said?
Okay. Right? Shamar is the word for watch. Right? Al means over. Alright? So we have Yahweh, watch, over. Yahweh, Shamar, Al, right? Yahweh, Shamar, over. This pen is over the chair. The pen is Al, the chair. There's a fan right here. The pen is Al, the fan, right? Okay. I'm watching the TV. I am Shamar, the TV. Watching what? Shamar would be watching. Right? If I say watch the TV, Shamar, ha TV, whatever TV would be. Shamar, ha TV, watch the TV. Watch the baby. Shamar, ha, Yalad. What's the word yet?
I said like I'm not sure what baby is, but I thought Lad was a son, black boy.
Lad is boy, he's a boy, he's a young boy.
Yeah, kind of.
Right? Watch the young boy, right? Shamar, ha Yalad, right?
Correct.
Watch the people, Shamar, ha Aima. Right? Watch the door. Shamar ha. We went over the door earlier, right? Door is Dalaf. Shamar ha Dalaf. Watch the house. House in Hebrew is
House is Bayat.
Bayat. Shamar ha Bayat.
Salaki.
Yes.
Is Ha used that much though?
Ha?
Ha, yeah.
Yes. I use almost. You want to use it more than not use it.
Okay,
right? You want to whatever's going on in Sabbath service. When they're reading the Hebrew, just look for what's being done all the time. A lot of times they put that ha everywhere. All right, you want to utilize prepositions. It looks more skillful, and this is what the forefathers did. Whatever the forefathers did, do that. Right? We saying the today because it's not two houses. The means one. Right? Unless in English they put houses on the end.